So welcome to this evening's screening of Il Grande Silenzio, The Big Silence, directed by Sergio Corbucci. This is a sort of a legendary film which remained unseen for many, many years. I heard about it when I was working for a film company in Paris called Les Films Marbeuf, and I actually went and delivered some stuff, some supplies or editing supplies or something to one of our rivals, a subsidiary of 20th Century Fox in Paris, so I could learn more about this film, Le Grand Silence, Il Grande Silenzio. It is the most pessimistic Western of all time. It was shot in 1967 by the director of Django, which had been an great international success. Corbucci apparently was moved not by the more celebrated murders of Robert Kennedy or Martin Luther King, but by the deaths of Che Guevara and Malcolm X. He was something of a leftist, and he apparently made Il Grande Silenzio as a tribute to those two revolutionary fighters, but also because he wanted to go skiing, and the producers promised that they could make the Western in a ski resort in the Alps or the Pyrenees. That was one of his other demands. When I directed my first feature, it was called REPO Man, and I actually tracked down the actress Vanetta McGee because she'd been in The Big Silence. She's a fantastic looking woman and a good actress, but also I just thought I want to meet somebody who was in that film, talk to them about what it was like, ask them about Corbucci, what kind of a director he was. And so that was why I cast Vanetta in Repo Man, and she turned out very good. It is a spaghetti western bestiary. The main bad guys are played by Klaus Kinski, Luigi Pistilli, and Mario Brega, who are like guys who were around for a few dollars more. A classic first generation of spaghetti western villains. But then there's another bunch, Ralph Baldassare and all the guys that Kinski goes and finds towards the end of the movie and brings back. It's a sort of second generation 70s cast of spaghetti westerns, the guys who would dominate the spaghetti western after Kinski and the other first generation bad guys went on to greater films. What the guys in Paris told me about The Big Silence was that it had been bought by 20th Century Fox as a gift for Clint Eastwood. The idea was that Eastwood was going to remake it, starring in the role of the mute gunfighter, played by Jean-Louis Trintignant. But this didn't turn out to take place at all. Apparently, one of the Zelzniks, or whoever it was that ran the studio, saw Il Grande Silenzio and was super offended, especially by the ending of it, by how cynical and dark the ending is. And he said, you know, he swallowed his cigar and said 20th Century Fox would never release this picture. Ironically, Corbucci was prepared for this and had directed a happy ending for The Big Silence, a happy ending of such cynical and bizarre proportions that it's unbelievable. And I urge you to, after this screening, if you're interested, go to YouTube and check out Il Grande Silenzio, The Great Silence, happy ending. So it is interesting that the only life that Il Grande Silenzio had for a very long time was video, was existing on videotapes in certain territories and then on DVD and being discovered by Japanese collectors on DVD and passed around. But what's really wonderful is that due to the efforts of a number of very, very hard-working cinema aesthetes, we've managed to track down a 35mm print, and that perhaps for the first time in the United States, this is the touring copy of Il Grande Silenzio, perhaps the last 35mm print in existence, touring America for the first time.